These are the masks of the Guere. They have come out of their sacred dwellings to bless and come to the aid of their people, to dance and display their power and their magic, to strengthen the faith and tradition. The ritual drums sound in the village of Betiguazon in the west of the Ivory Coast in Western Africa. In the language of percussion, they broadcast the rhythms identifying the different families and clans, telling them to come to the village square. The masks have arrived, and soon they will begin to dance. These are the real institutions which order, legislate, and codify the social life of the different ethnic groups that live in the region in the west of the Ivory Coast. Each one belongs to a different family. Some are very old and only appear on very special occasions. There are masks that only come out every 5 years, 10 years, or even 50. They are the representation of the protective spirits revealed in dreams. Their importance can be seen from the way in which they are decorated and the cortege of the initiated that accompanies them to lead them and take care of them. Before coming out, they must perform complex ceremonies at which they sacrifice animals in offering. The people both respect and fear them. From them, they gain strength and spiritual peace, but they avoid any accidental physical contact. If the mask does not give permission, no one apart from the initiated may touch them. There are masks of justice, of wisdom, warrior masks, satirical masks, and so on. Each one serves a specific need. Their dance is always spectacular. That is how they demonstrate that the power of their magic comes from the other world. Only the initiated know who has been chosen by the family chief to make the mask dance. Before putting on the clothes and the carved wooden mask, he goes into a profound trance which will last until he returns. Once it has come out, each mask must return to its secret dwelling place within a certain time of between 2 and 4 days. Before it is again put away, the obligatory sacrifices and rituals must be performed. The assembled people are moved by the demonstrations of strength and skill. They believe only the spirits can do these things. The clan chiefs preside over the ceremony, observing attentively. From time to time, they give orders to the initiated for the mass to do something specific. In this region of the Ivory Coast, there are still ancient jungles such as the Thai jungle and leafy forests which are home to different ethnic branches of the Mande group. The most characteristic of these are the Dan, who are related to the Guere. Their villages are very distant from each other. They do not form a large community, but rather isolated groups which only come together in exceptional circumstances or to defend themselves against some common threat. Their circular houses are covered with a large conical pointed roof made with palm leaves and straw, which is a very efficient defense against the heavy rains of this region. The Dan women are in charge of the domestic chores, but they also play a very important social role. They are organized into secret societies which have a decisive influence on the community and have their own masks. However, the women are not allowed to hide their faces, but only transform them using paint. Each village is governed by the Council of Ancients, which always dictates the rules of the society, jealously guards the secrets of the community, and makes sure the traditional laws, the Guere, are obeyed. In this region of the Ivory Coast, from the time the young men are initiated, they form part of what is called the Guere, the fundamental law which is the link between human existence and the divine spirit of the cosmos. Many huts are decorated with domestic motifs and clan and esoteric symbols related to the Guere. This is a clear influence from the Crew, a large ethnic group in the south. The tradition was brought here by the Guere, who are very closely related to the Dan. A great part of the mythology of the Dan is born in the heart of the jungle, in these labyrinthine forests teeming with life where their deities live and where nature and magic melt into one. The Dan have always respected and venerated their natural surroundings as something sacred, as it is the indisputable genesis of their cosmogony. In the interior of this green world, we find the bridges of the spirits. These are not the work of man. The supernatural beings of the forest themselves build these bridges to make it easier for the men who live here to move through the forest. Hundreds of lianas, the resistant living limbs of the jungle, are woven together in the dead of night by the spirits. At dawn, a new bridge connects the opposing banks of a river or crosses a deep ravine. No one knows how or when they are built, but for them they are sacred because they are made with lianas and everything that comes from the jungle is revered. That is why they take their shoes off before crossing, as a mark of respect. The chief of the secret society of the initiated, responsible for the spiritual welfare of the people, is also the guardian of the bridge. He will decide when they must stop using it. No bridge lasts longer than a year because their lianas lose their elasticity and become fragile and liable to break. Then they are destroyed. At dawn, the people come to the river and see that the bridge has disappeared, just as mysteriously as it appeared. The wise men then meet with the initiated to invoke the spirits and ask them for another bridge. Everything in the bridges comes from nature. There are no nails, ropes, or screws, just lianas and trunks in a work of great skill. Only the initiates know how and when a bridge is built. The spiritual chief, who is also in charge of making the sacrifices and offerings, assigns and supervises the work. During these days, no one who has not been initiated may approach the area or enter the forest. They work in a state of trance possessed by the powerful spirits of the jungle. When the lianas are ready, the tom-tom sounds out until nightfall to warn everyone. If a woman or anyone not belonging to the secret society came close and saw them at work, they would be killed instantly. That night, the people remain in their houses. No one dares come out. The strange noises coming from the river terrify them. They know it is the powerful supernatural beings of the jungle working for them. At dawn, a new bridge will be consecrated. Legend tells that one day a group of warriors was escorting a princess, and when they came to this region, they found a river they were unable to ford. The princess's son fell into the water. The current was very strong and carried him off. As the princess screamed out in desperation, a tree on the riverbank fell into the water, stretching out its branches towards the child, who grabbed hold of them and was able to reach safety. This was the first bridge the spirits gave to the inhabitants of the forest.